Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out the real reason why Wales isn't represented on the Union Jack.
The flag of the United Kingdom is pretty unique and interesting. It's a combination of the original three kingdoms that made up the country: England and Scotland, who formally united in 1707 after the English throne ran out of offspring a century earlier, and Ireland, who was attached in 1801, forming the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland.
It is a cool looking flag. It's so serendipitous that those three flags fit together in a way that makes that. Good design, even back then. I do find it interesting how the English Red Cross is sort of out in front of the other two. That's probably by design.
So why isn't Wales on the Union Jack? How could anyone forget to include a dragon on their flag? And why does it continue to be excluded today?
That does look good. I like the dragon. Maybe slightly designed different, maybe simplified so it fits on the other stuff a little bit better. But yeah, a dragon would be f***ing cool.
Well, I've partially answered this for you already. The Union Jack was made up of the flags of the three kingdoms that originally made up the country, and Wales wasn't included back then. But why? Well, about 389 million minutes ago, the King of England, who was called Edward I despite being like the fourth, conquered the Principality of Wales after a sustained 200-year campaign. His son and the future heirs of England would rule this principality, while the rest of Wales would be ruled by about 50 English and Welsh nobles known as the Marcher Lords. In 1536, this system was abolished, and the country and dominion of Wales was established with these borders, which are still in use today.
Okay.
These laws formally annexed Wales into the Kingdom of England, but it's a common misconception that these laws made Wales a part of England, or that Wales ceased to exist. This was not the case, despite how often it's repeated. All of Wales, except for Monmouthshire, would maintain its own judicial system. The people of Wales would pay different taxes to those in England, and many acts of parliament were made explicitly for the country of Wales.
I watched a video the other day about the formation of England. There were a lot of maps in that video, and I don't remember how Wales factored in. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I guess that video didn't really incorporate Wales into it very much, because they just left it out of all of that. I didn't even notice this the other day. They didn't even... What was going on in Wales? But I'm surprised that I didn't think to ask at the time. I'm a blind little boy trying to figure this world out. So they became a part of the Kingdom of England, but they still had their own judicial system, their own taxes, separate laws, and what else? And its own acts of parliament.
It was certainly a part of the Kingdom of England, but it's a vast oversimplification to say that Wales ceased to exist. If you were to ask a Tudor lawmaker what this piece of land was called, he would not say England, he'd tell you it was the country or dominion of Wales, separate from England proper. This separation was even represented on the English coat of arms, which featured the Greyhound of Richmond for Henry Tudor and the Red Dragon of Cadwallader for Wales. However, in 1603, this degree of legal detachment would not be enough for the new Scottish King of England, James VI/1, named after his KD ratio, who reigned as both the King of Scotland and of England.
Right. I'm remembering this James guy. He was the King of Scotland, and then he inherited England. Guess he wanted Wales
Not be
too.
enough, the new Scottish King of England, James VI/1, named after his KD ratio, who reigned as both the King of Scotland and of England. He kicked the Welsh dragon off of the coat of arms and replaced it with a Scottish unicorn, and just over 100 years later, his granddaughter, Queen Anne, formally united the two kingdoms of England and Scotland, with Ireland being pulled in later. So as we can see, the primary reason that Wales wasn't included on the Union Jack in 1707 is that it was legally a part of the Kingdom of England. Although again, calling it a part of England proper, or saying that Wales ceased to exist, is an oversimplification, and would involve ignoring centuries of English law. The Scottish were not ignorant to this either. James V was a son of a Tudor, and his mother even tried to make him the Prince of Wales, and James VI enjoyed a good amount of support from the Welsh, with some even claiming him as a fellow Welshman. But of course, for all intents and purposes, Wales had been annexed into the Kingdom of England, and James VI was not looking to make an exception. In fact, he even studied how this incorporation into England went, in order to see what problems might arise when he attempted to incorporate Scotland too. But regardless, in kicking the Welsh dragon off of the coat of arms, he robbed them of their last piece of representation, a trend which has continued into the modern day.
So James came along, And he kicked the dragon off. Unicorns are nice, but I would say a dragon is much cooler. Wow, King James. He caused a lot of havoc, didn't he?
Now, most people just stop there. They tell you, well, Wales was annexed and James VI just combined these two flags, so that's why Wales isn't there. But this whole thing happened over 300 years ago, and Wales still isn't on the Union Jack. What are the modern reasons as to why Wales still isn't included? Well, it's not due to a lack of effort. The College of Arms was petitioned 5 times between 1897 and 1945 to see if they would consider adding the Welsh dragon back to the royal coat of arms, presumably replacing one of the 2 Englands. However, they were rejected for 2 reasons, and I quote, Wales has never been a kingdom. There is no such thing as a Welsh national flag.
Okay, now it's getting weird, because there are 2 representations of England, and the citizens of Wales are actively petitioning to have the dragon put back on, and they're being denied. Why? That's odd.
There is no such thing as a Welsh national flag.
That's both false, right?
That first part is not true. While, yes, there was never a political entity called the Kingdom of Wales, there were kingdoms that controlled all of Wales. That second part, though, was true, and it ties into the reason why many Welsh people at the time wanted representation on the Union Jack. In 1945, famous for being the year of the final petition to the College of Arms, amongst some other things, Wales had no national flag, and it hadn't done for its entire modern existence. Although the red dragon had been a symbol of the Welsh for centuries, the modern flag of Wales is a very recent creation, and it would not become official until 1959, although it did have decades of popular yet unofficial use. The history of the Welsh flag deserves its own video, but to put it simply, this new flag was a compromise. The College of Arms' reasoning for rejecting any Welsh representation was very ironic. They said that the Welsh shouldn't be included on the Union Jack because they didn't have their own flag, while the Welsh were telling them that they wanted to be included precisely because they didn't have their own flag, or any of their own representation.
Hey, we would like a Welsh representation on the flag. You can't have representation on the flag because you don't have a flag. That's why we want to be on the flag. But what would we put on the flag? You don't have a flag to put on there. That's why we want to be on the flag. You expect us to put a red dragon on the Union Jack. I mean, yeah, that's our symbol is the red dragon. A red dragon does not fit into the design motif of the Union Jack. But we make our own design motif. It can be part of it. No. Okay. And that's how it went.
As a compromise, in 1953, the Royal Badge of Wales was designed, and you were only allowed to fly it with official permission. So everyone just flew the unofficial flag instead. Until finally, in 1959, the modern flag of Wales was officially adopted. The Welsh would finally have their own representation for the first time in over 350 years.
Nice.
After this, calls for the inclusion of the Welsh on the Union Jack essentially stopped completely. The petitions to the College of Arms were about receiving their own representation in their own country, and now the Welsh had it. There wasn't really much of an appetite anymore to be included on the Union Jack country. After this, calls for the inclusion of the Welsh on the Union Jack essentially stopped completely.
But that was 15 years ago, and none of the people involved in raising or considering the issue are in Parliament anymore. That's how it goes, isn't it? Government. Filmmaking, too.
The petitions to the College of Arms were about receiving their own representation in their own country, and now the Welsh had it. There wasn't really much of an appetite anymore to be included on the Union Jack, and that continues to this day. In fact, I've met many Welsh people who have said they don't even want to be on the flag, and I'm sure there are plenty of people watching this video who feel the same way. So there we have it, the reason why Wales isn't on the Union Jack. The Welsh of the early 20th century were seeking representation and acknowledgement, and not necessarily by altering the British flag. The creation of their own national flag, y Ddraig Goch, satisfied this need, and no one's really asked for anything to change since. But who knows, maybe one day we'll see the Union Jack adorned with a Welsh dragon.
That would be awesome.
But for now, it seems like almost everyone is satisfied with a green and white field.
What about, like, let's try something. Let's just try something different. Yo, look at that. Is this the new flag of Great Britain? Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere now. Make it more red. What do y'all think? I think the dragon needs to be bigger. Something like that? What if it's a silhouette of a dragon? How about that? Yeah. What if he's flipped? Or we could go take the other approach and just keep it small. Like that. How about that? Huh? What if it's even smaller? How's that? Maybe even a little smaller. Let's just see. Bear with me here. Right in the middle? Or what if it's like an Easter egg and we put it like up there where you can barely see it? How about that? I like this, y'all. I'll just let this be here. You can do a screenshot, copy it. Oh, interesting video. History's so complicated. I need to learn more about whales. I don't know much at all. Anyway, thank y'all for recommending this video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.